Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael, KE4EST, and today I'll show you my latest find here. This is a Heathkit Model IO, India Oscar IO-17, little 3-inch CRT oscilloscope that was made from 1968 until 1973 from what I can find out. And first I didn't know if I wanted to take this thing on. It's rough, but then I was like, you know what, well, it looks rough from the outside anyway, but that's the whole point of this. Take some of this stuff and bring it back. As you can see, probably some light on the front there. Don't really show, but if I do like that, look at the edges over here. It's got a lot of corrosion stuff there. Look on the top here. I mean, it's crowed up, rusted up. I mean, it's been sitting somewhere in a basement or something, exposed to some moisture, maybe in a garage that wasn't heated or something, but kind of rough. Got on and off intensity here. Of course, we got power. It starts a LED, but it's probably not an LED, probably an incandescent lamp or probably a neon lamp. Focus, horizontal gain, vertical gain. Now, the frequency varying there. And that, oh, that ain't moving. Have to do something about that. Horizontal, vertical position. The vertical position control is pretty rough. It's moving, but it's still. And then we got, this would be your sweep, I guess. Yeah, sweep selector. Vertical input, horizontal input. And 1 volt P2P here, so this is probably our early attempts at putting like a calibrator on the front. Because you can see it's got a graticule here, so. But I'm sure it's not super perfect. And I have looked, I've not been able to find a manual on this. I've got looking on eBay for one, but I did find a schematic, and here's what I found. Small, can't read any of this writing. I even got glasses on. It's really hard to, I can see it says Model IO-17. Schematic of the Heathkit 3-inch utility oscilloscope. I mean, this stuff's really hard to read there. But, you know, it's a simple oscilloscope, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out if I can't find a manual. Let's look at the back here. I mean, look at this here. Ugh. Some kind of green, yucky stuff there. Take this, I guess, out of the way here. And look at that. That's definitely been stored for a while. It's got dust on the top where it's been wrapped around. And it's holding its thing pretty good. So all we got back here is the line cord holder, fuse holder. It just says slow blow. It don't even tell you what kind of fuse goes in there, supposedly. And astigmatism control. And let's see, so the best I can see, it looks like the sides come off. I mean, there's screws up here too. So let's just start with this side. Yeah, let's set it, and you can see all that. I mean, look at all this here. This, you know, let's see how hard it's going to be to get this open. Yeah, that's come loose. Try to go kind of fast here so I don't have to speed the video up, so you can kind of see the process. Some people say they'd like to see the whole process. Some people say skip it, you know, cut it out so we can get to it, make the video so long. So it's, I do the same thing. When I watch videos, if I got a real good, interesting video, you know, I want the guy to show everything. If I want to speed ahead, I can hit fast forward. You know, it's YouTube. And I don't know if you know that, but if you hit the L button on your keyboard, if you're watching on a computer, you'll skip ahead 20 seconds. Real handy for skipping commercials. So let's see here. How's that going to come off the bottom? There it goes. Bottom, top. Just look at that. Got a little bit of a glare there, but look at that stuff coming out. Pretty rough. Let's set that aside. Oop. Let's make sure I got the camera wing, see a pretty good view of it. Alright. So what we got in here? 6BQ7. It's probably a 12AU7 or 12AX7. Let's see the schematic. Yeah, I can see that. It's got 12AU7, 12AX7. Sort of can see part of them. But, let's see, can you see that? Some more light in there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tubes, looks like. I'll take the other side off here in a second. This, oh, I didn't even realize that. Now that's the vertical. Oh, up here it says pull for times 50 attenuation. Okay. Well, that's neat. And let's see. That's the one that don't move. Yeah, I'll have to pull that completely out. Okay, but anyway, there she is. Do a lot of cleaning up on this board. It's even got that stuff on the tubes. Look at that. Alright, so let me get the other side off, and I'll spare you that. I'll skip this part. Okay, got screws out. Oh, that can come off a little easier. Yeah. You know, I'm calling this IO-17, but is it IO-17? I guess so. Let's see. Anyway. Huh. Let's search that better. Well, it looks like. Let's see what you can see there. Get this light up out of your way. Let's see. Back here is your high voltage capacitors. I'm not going to stick my finger in there. I don't know when somebody plugged this in last. The guy I got it from could have plugged it in. He said he was messing with it, so supposedly he got a trace on it. I wish he hadn't plugged it in, but that's another thing. You know, if you're taking one of these apart and messing with one of these, especially these, you are doing so at your own risk. Be careful and watch what you're doing. If you don't understand this or don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. These here are 1200 volt capacitors back here. There's a lot of high voltage, probably a negative high voltage feeding this tube here, this CRT, so be very, very careful and watch what you're doing. Don't stick your fingers in. And if you get one of these like this that's older, I mean, maybe it's in better shape than this one. It ain't been sitting in out in the mud or something or whatever, but do not plug it in. Don't plug it in, put it on a variac and bring it up slowly. You know, you can do that with radios and stuff, some of those, especially the All-American 5s. A lot lower voltage, you know, and even though the caps need to go, if you bring them up slowly, you can kind of reform them a little bit and bring it up just to see if it's going to work. Before you restore it, this here, you got so much voltage here, and if one of these caps are shorted back here, these high voltage caps, you're going to take a tube out, or this one, At least looking at schematic, look, it's actually got diodes in it, and because I don't see anything, any rectifier tubes. So probably when we get to the bottom here somewhere, oh yeah, it's gonna have, you're gonna take out your rectifier diodes, could take out your transformer, and these, it's gonna be harder to get a hold of. So don't do it. Take it apart. If you really want to restore it and want to, use it, at least change out these high voltage capacitors in the power supply section before you try to bring it up slowly to see if you want to go any further with it. Because CRT could be bad, could have bad burn in. Maybe it's hard to find. I'm not looking, so it's hard to find one of these. I think it's a 3B. This one, oh gosh, I can't read that. 3RP one, maybe. 3 being 3-inch, and 1 is the phosphor level, so it's like a P1, so it ain't gonna have, the trace is gonna be there and gone. But anyway, caps like this will probably be okay. These disc caps and stuff. But this one here has got, you got these 2 filter cans here. It'll have to go, or maybe I can sneak in some under here and leave them here for looks. These 2 back here is gonna have to go. These high voltage caps. And I see a Sprague, red Sprague here. That's a film, dye film, I guess. Some of those last longer than others. Some of those, and I can't remember if it's the red ones or the yellow ones. Because there'll be some that looks identical and they got a red writing on them, and some's got yellow writing on them. I guess around here you can see another one here. It's red. I just go ahead and change them out. Capacitors ain't that expensive. Used to they were, but nowadays they're not. But this thing's pretty rough in here. At least they got a shield all the way around that CRT. That's good. Now this bottom, without, let's see, I'm trying to see. Yeah. I'm gonna be, have to tear it down further for that, and I'll spare you that. But it's just bottom of this circuit board and all these diodes in there. So it does have a solid state power supply, and I'm being very careful not to stick my finger in there. Another thing I should be doing is not grabbing the chassis up here. I'm grabbing this and touching this, because I can stick my finger in something that's going to pass the current through me. I should be grabbing the plastic up here, the rubber handle, or in the back here. Yeah, be careful with this stuff. These things can really, they got enough current in these things. If it was just plugged in and capacitor charged up, something's wrong. Tubes will usually bleed off the capacitors. They may have resistance in the circuit that's going to bleed it off, but if something's not right, it don't bleed off. Yep, you don't want to die that way. So anyway, enough of that nonsense. Well, not nonsense, it's very important, but you know what I mean. So, and I can see, let me see if we can, maybe you can see in there. Yeah, there's that one that won't move back here. See how much wider a color that is, and the rest of them, it's all caked over with something there, some kind of rust of some sort. The rest of them aren't. So yeah, I'll have to pull all that out. I'll have to come all the way out, which I'll have to get all this out anyway. There's more screws up here, and get this off, get the CRT out, so I can get down in here to this board here and clean all this up a little better than this. Even this retainer that's holding this tube in, it's got rust on the tip of it. I don't know if you can see that, but anyhow, let me start replacing some parts, checking some parts, getting a little further along with it, and we'll come back. I'll show you more what's going on when I get to that point.